The tennis world is in complete shock tonight as Ben Navarro, the billionaire owner of the Charleston Open and one of the most influential figures in American tennis, has just made an UN precedent statement about Alex Eala that no one saw coming. When the cameras started rolling at the US Open Media Day, Navarro didn't hold back one single word, dropping a truth bomb that is sending shockwaves through the entire Flushing Meadows complex. What he said about the Filipina sensation has left fans, analysts, and players absolutely spexless. This is not just another celebrity opinion. This is a power move that could change everything for Eala's future in the sport she's dominating. The tennis community is in total meltdown mode, and social media is exploding with reactions. The timing of this revelation is devastatingly perfect, coming just days before Alex Eala is set to make history as the highest-seeded Filipino singles player in US Open history. This isn't just speculation, this is real, and it's happening right now. Ben Navarro, the man who has worked closely with some of tennis's biggest names, just threw down the gauntlet. Brace yourselves because what you're about to read will absolutely blow your mind. Ben Navarro, the man who revolutionized the Charleston Open and transformed it into one of the most prestigious tournaments on the WTA Tour, has just dropped a statement that has sent the US Open into complete chaos. When Navarro, who also serves as the chairman of the board for the Credit One Bank, was asked about Alex Eala's meteoric rise to world number 18, he didn't offer the usual diplomatic praise that tennis executives typically provide. Instead, he delivered a brutal, unfiltered verdict that caught everyone off guard. What he said about the 21-year-old Filipina phenom was so unexpected that reporters in the room fell completely silent, struggling to process the magnitude of his words. The tension in the media room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Navarro, known for his calm demeanor and measured responses, seemed to have a different agenda today. He looked directly into the cameras with a piercing intensity and made a statement that many are calling the most controversial tennis commentary of 2026. He made it abundantly clear that the tennis establishment has been underestimating Eala's potential and that her recent achievements are just the tip of the iceberg. Ben Navarro effectively challenged the entire tennis world to sit up and pay attention to this Filipina phenomenon, implying that the sport is witnessing something truly historic unfold right before our eyes. The media erupted into a frenzy of questions, but Navarro had clearly said everything he wanted to say. His message was loud, clear, and utterly shocking. This wasn't just about rankings or titles. Navarro was putting the entire tennis world on notice. He made comparisons to some of the greatest players in tennis history, suggesting that Eala's trajectory is reminiscent of the sport's most iconic legends. The fact that a billionaire owner of one of the WTA's premier events would make such bold statements at the US Open Media Day is unprecedented. For years, tennis executives have played it safe, offering generic praise about young talent and promising futures. But Navarro threw caution to the wind and delivered an emotional bombshell that will be discussed for years to come. What makes this even more significant is that Navarro has worked closely with players like Jessica Pegula, making his evaluation of Eala carry enormous weight. He sees something special, and he's not afraid to tell the world about it. Alex Eala's journey to this moment has been nothing short of miraculous, and Navarro's bombshell comes at the most critical juncture of her career. The 21-year-old Filipina has been on an absolute tear this season, winning her first WTA title at the DC Open and becoming the first player from the Philippines to achieve such a feat. She's been drawing massive crowds everywhere she goes, creating what insiders are calling the Eala Effect that has captivated tennis fans across the globe. Her incredible run saw her defeat world number 3 Jessica Pegula, Elena Svitolina, and Naomi Osaka en route to the Washington title. This wasn't just a lucky streak. This was a statement of intent that she belongs among the elite of women's tennis. Now heading into the US Open as the highest-seeded Filipino singles player in Grand Slam history, Eala is projected to be seeded in the top 15, a historic achievement for Philippine tennis. Her rankings have skyrocketed to a career-high number 18, and she's showing no signs of slowing down. Eala's performance at Wimbledon earlier this year, where she became the first Filipino to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam, was just a taste of what's to come. The Filipina prodigy has been playing with unmatched confidence and determination, proving that her historic run in Washington was no fluke. Navarro's shocking comments now add another layer of pressure and expectation to what is already the most important tournament of her young career. The world is watching, and the tennis establishment is taking notice. Navarro's comments have essentially confirmed what many insiders have been whispering for months. Alex Eala is the real deal. Unlike many young players who show flashes of brilliance before fading into mediocrity, Eala has demonstrated remarkable consistency and mental toughness. She recently reached the third round of the Cincinnati Open before falling to world number 10 Amanda Anisimova. Even in defeat, she showed incredible resilience, winning the first set against a top 10 player. Her ability to compete at the highest level week after week has cemented her status as one of the most exciting young talents in the sport. Navarro's bombshell serves as validation for everything she has achieved and a challenge to reach even greater heights at Flushing Meadows. Just when tennis fans thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, Ben Navarro's comments have sparked a massive debate across social media and traditional sports media alike. What exactly did he say that has caused such shockwaves? According to multiple insiders who were present at the media event, Navarro compared Alex Eala's impact to some of tennis's biggest legends, suggesting that the Filipina could dominate the sport for the next decade if she continues on her current trajectory. He also took a direct shot at the tennis establishment, implying that top players and executives have been sleeping on Eala's potential for far too long. The statement was both a passionate defense of the young star and a warning to anyone who doubts her abilities. Critics have already started weighing in, with some questioning whether Navarro's comments were appropriate or if they placed too much pressure on Eala's shoulders. However, supporters have rallied behind the Filipina sensation, using Navarro's words as motivation. "This is what happens when you deserve recognition," one prominent tennis analyst wrote on social media. Ben Navarro said what everyone in the locker room is thinking. The debate has raged on, with commentators arguing both sides of the issue. But one thing is clear, Navarro's words have increased the spotlight on Eala at the perfect time. The attention is coming just days before the US Open main draw, and the tennis world is collectively holding its breath to see how Eala responds to this challenge. The scheduling debates surrounding Eala have only added fuel to the fire. Some analysts have criticized Eala for playing too many matches ahead of the US Open, pointing out that she could face 8 consecutive weeks of tennis if she makes a deep run at Flushing Meadows. Liam McMillan of Tennis 365 described her schedule as unsustainable for anyone, no matter what your age, calling it a major error for the burgeoning 21-year-old. This criticism has added another dimension to the story, with some wondering if the pressure and the packed schedule could derail Eala's US Open campaign. Navarro's comments came at the absolute perfect time to either serve as a rallying cry for her success or to add even more weight to her shoulders. As Alex Eala prepares for her biggest challenge yet, the excitement surrounding her US Open campaign has reached fever pitch. Eala has been gearing up for the tournament with a packed schedule that includes an exhibition match against her friend Iva Jovic in the Stars of the Open event. She will also make her mixed doubles debut alongside Canadian star Felix Auger-Aliassime, having received a wild card for the event. Auger-Aliassime has already expressed his excitement about partnering with her, saying he's ready to experience the Eala Effect and fan base. This unprecedented combination of events has created a whirlwind of activity around Eala that is unlike anything Filipino tennis has ever witnessed. Ben Navarro's shocking comments have effectively made Eala the center of attention at this year's US Open. The media coverage has been intense, with dozens of outlets scrambling to get exclusive interviews and insights about the Filipina phenomenon. Fans from across the globe are making their way to New York to witness history in the making. The Filipina community, in particular, has rallied behind their young hero, and the atmosphere at Flushing Meadows promises to be electric. Eala has been gracious under pressure, maintaining her focus on the job at hand despite the growing distractions. "I think my main focus is to win more matches," Eala said in a recent interview. "The priority is the level that I produce in big matches, and I think if I'm able to reach those levels at a consistent pace, then of course, the ranking will follow. The stage is set for what could be an unforgettable tournament." Eala's historic seeding at number 18 means she could potentially avoid the top players until the later rounds, giving her a favorable path to make a deep run. Her previous experience at the US Open, where she won her first Grand Slam main draw match, will serve her well. The fact that a billionaire owner like Ben Navarro would make such powerful statements about her only adds to the narrative that something truly special is unfolding. Whether she can handle the pressure and turn Navarro's words into a championship performance remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the entire tennis world will be watching her every move at Flushing Meadows. The fallout from Ben Navarro's explosive comments continues to reverberate through the tennis community, and no one is quite sure what comes next for Alex Eala. The intense media scrutiny, heightened expectations, and Navarro's shocking words have created an unprecedented amount of pressure for the Filipina prodigy. But this is the crucible in which true champions are forged. Eala has repeatedly proven that she thrives under pressure, and her ability to remain calm and focused has been one of her greatest strengths throughout her incredible journey. If she can channel Navarro's comments into motivation, there's no telling how far she can go at this year's US Open. Navarro has been directly involved with some of tennis's biggest names, and his endorsement carries significant weight in the tennis establishment. His comparisons to tennis legends have elevated Eala's status in the eyes of many observers. Whether this added attention becomes a burden or a source of inspiration will be determined by Eala's performance in the coming weeks. This has also become a massive story in the tennis community because it highlights the growing recognition of Asian players in the sport. Eala's success represents a major step forward for Philippine tennis and for Asian tennis in general. The fact that a prominent American figure like Navarro would make such bold claims about a Filipina player is a powerful symbol of how far the sport has come. The US Open organizers are already preparing for what could be one of the biggest stories of the tournament. Eala's first-round match is expected to be one of the most watched matches of the opening days, and her mixed doubles pairing with Eala has generated enormous interest. The tennis world is on the edge of its seat, waiting to see whether Navarro's bombshell will prove prophetic or whether the pressure will finally catch up to the young phenom. Regardless of what happens, Ben Navarro has single-handedly transformed the US Open into the most anticipated tennis event of the year. As the tournament approaches, one question remains on everyone's mind: will Alex Eala rise to the occasion and prove that Navarro's shocking words were not just empty praise? The answer will be written in the coming days at Flushing Meadows. If you enjoyed this latest tennis update and want to stay ahead of the biggest stories in the world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action. See you in the next video.